What's going on, Blue Crew? It's your boy Big Blue here again with another Borderlands 3 video for you. Today I have the Hawk Moon. Same gun, different game, I'm sorry, the Moonfire. And this gun after the recent update is crazy. The damage is crazy, and the build I put together for sustain is just incredible. I can't wait to share it with you guys and just show you how much damage this gun can do. Without any further ado guys, let's get into that build though. Welcome back, Blue Crew. So the first thing I do want to talk about is actually where you get the Moonfire from. The Moonfire is a world drop. You can't get it from anywhere, but it does have an increased chance to drop from Wotan. So if you really are looking for it, I say go farm Wotan. I do have some builds out where you could actually farm Wotan pretty easily. Shouldn't be a problem. The elements that the Moonfire can come in is Incinerary, Radiation, and Shock. Yeah, I'm sorry, there's no corrosive, so you don't even have to worry about that, no cryo. The red flavor text on the gun says meet your destiny. Remember earlier I was talking about the Moonfire. I mean not the Moonfire, excuse me, the Hawk Moon from Destiny 2. It even shoots the same way. It has like the same rhythm to the shots and everything. It really reminded me of the Hawk Moon, and I couldn't figure out why until I looked up like the red flavor text, and then I knew. I was like, ah, that's why. As soon as I looked it up, it reminded me that the Hawk Moon in Destiny 2 actually had the special effect that was Luck in the Chamber, where you had a chance to do increased damage. And I believe, I'm positive that that's where this comes from actually. It's a really cool gun and I really like the ability. And as you can see, I don't understand why it isn't used more. It's a great gun, it does plenty of damage. Even when I went down, I just one-shot that guy and got back up. So from the clip that I showed you earlier, I'm actually using a different version of the Hawk Moon. Different version. I've actually confused myself by doing that. A different version of the Moonfire. The one I was using in that clip was a phase slam, and I wasn't even phase slamming. I was just using it on base damage. This one is a on weapon in 100% damage increase. This one helps me gain overkill damage. It helps me gain a lot more damage a lot faster. You see 1 million shots every time I hit people for the most part. So this one works out better. That shock one that I was using is actually better for me to use on bosses because I can just slam and then just shoot away and then they die. This is actually a clip that I was telling you that I did the takedown with this build. This is a clip of me killing Wotan here. Okay, well anyways, back to what we were looking at. One thing I do want to cover, on my videos, I'm looking at my analytics, it tells me that only 6% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed. Leave in the comments what I can do to make my videos better so you guys will subscribe to me. I would love to know. Just leave it in the comments and I promise I'll get back to you so I can work on that. One thing I do want to say about this build, it is pretty reliant on my Guardian rank. So if you have a lower Guardian rank, it may not work for you. I did try it in the takedown without Guardian rank at all. Made it all the way to Wotan with no problem. So you shouldn't have a problem. And if you already do have Guardian point skills in certain places, it works. Just so you guys know, my Guardian rank is literally only high enough to where I have all of my actual perks from the Guardian rank trees, and then I stop putting points into the skills. Yes, I understand that is a lot of points, but I wanted all that extra damage pretty much, extra sustain, extra everything, which is probably one of the reasons that my builds work so well for me, but it seems like some of them don't work well for you guys. Some of them do, some of them don't. So I'm trying to be 100% transparent with this now. Oh, something I didn't mention actually that I should have. Every third shot is when you get that increased amp damage from the Moonfire. And the way that I tried to build this was shock damage, shock damage, shock damage. I'm actually not using a transformer like most people would think you'd be using in a build like this. I'm actually using an old god with shock damage on the actual card, plus an anointment for shock damage, giving me an extra 70% shock damage alone just from that. And it's like a rail gun. The gun is ridiculous. So I'm just gonna skip past these guys, and I don't really care. I say that, but then they start shooting me, so. Alright, well, didn't really matter. One shot and killed those guys, and that dude was a badass. So the one thing I am gonna do, I'm gonna switch to the slam because I'm gonna use the shock version. And I think that's all I do, yeah. Okay, so you're gonna see me get my shock version out. Reload, and I jump in. Even I was surprised with the results from this. I knew it was gonna do some damage, but I wasn't ready for this. It took me 2 shots. That's all it took me to kill him. And just so I can show you guys that that wasn't a fluke, I do have another clip of me killing him right here. After killing him the second time, one of the reasons that I think it worked so well the first time is because I'm using the pearl. And maybe I had my stacks maxed out with that, so I had some extra damage while I was fighting him. I'm not really sure. As you can see, it still does plenty of damage. But it didn't do as much damage as the first time. Okay, so this is just me killing the Valkyries in that same playthrough I was telling you about, in that same run of the raid. Again, if I would have been using the weapon damage one instead of the shock damage one here, it would have been crazy, the damage I would have put out. And I probably would have been able to kill those guys who were immune to my damage from being shocked. But I still had no problem, as you can see, doing this. My biggest problem was the corrosive guys, because I didn't have enough corrosive damage. When I go over the build, you'll see why. It's not like I have a problem with the Wotan or with these guys. If I wanted to kill them almost instantly, I could have slammed, but it would have made it harder for me to deal with all the mobs, so I decided to stick with this way and just take a little longer with them. Usually when you guys see me do clips of me in the takedown, about time they fall, I already have them ready to go back up, but with the way I set this up, it's not going to work that way. It will give you plenty of damage, but it won't do that kind of damage for some reason. But as you see for mobbing, it's amazing, but it works for bosses just fine. And you just have to love Ties That Bind and the way that it like amplifies that damage. Okay, welcome back, Blue Crew. Let's go over the build. So before I actually go over the build, I do want to point out two things. What I use in the takedown, the only difference is this is Incinerary, and I changed my action skill to Incinerary here. Other than that, it's exactly what you just seen me use in the takedown. Okay, going back to the actual build. Simulating potent Moonfire. This is what I use to down bosses faster. That phase slam damage and that shock damage just helps me melt bosses really fast. I was trying to do something with the companion or with this dueling buoy love drill, but I couldn't really figure it out, so I'm going to wait on those and still try to figure out something specific for those. The gratifying the gratifying Moonfire. This is the main weapon that I was using throughout the entirety of the takedown, and when you see me run through Athena. I was using this one because it has that action skill in, weapon damage is increased by 100% for a short time. That way I don't have to slam or do anything like that to actually get extra weapon damage. I can just grasp everybody, pretty much shoot once to twice, and everybody dies. It's really nice. Reason I'm using this hypercharged Old God, it has that shock damage, it has that elemental damage resistance, and the shield relay, and the recharge rate. Plus it gives me a little movement speed when it is depleted. So I tried a phase Zerker here. I didn't try a driver, I wanted to do something different. I'm sure if I put a driver here and elemental projector, I could get more damage out, but I wanted to be able to survive a little bit too, so I did it this way instead. The main reason I'm using this breaker is for those 2 points into personal space and that extra weapon damage. The action skill cooldown rate is also really nice. The Atlas weapon damage does not matter for what I'm doing. Again, I changed this to Incinerate, but you could just as easily change it back. Change it to Shock, change it to Corrosive, change it to whatever you needed. In the actual skill trees, in the Brawl tree, I actually only have 5 points into personal space. Only thing I need in this whole tree. I have 3 points from my actual pitting points in there, and then 2 points from my class mod. Looking at the mythical assault tree, I do have 2 points in fast hands for some reload speed, 5 points in violent tapestry, just so I could get some extra effect chance. Restless for that cooldown rate, Transcend for accuracy and critical hit damage. Using Ascendant because I'm using it in tandem with Stillness of Mind, one of the big things that I do. Also using Laid Bare, got 3 points there and 3 points in Wrath for that extra 45% damage increase. From Rest I have 2 points there just for that fire rate. It's not that the Moonfire fires slow, but like I was saying earlier, it reminds me of a hand cannon from Destiny. It kind of has that same kickback and that same rhythm to it, but I enjoy that. Remnant, Remnant, Remnant. I know you've seen some of my orbs do millions and millions of damage. Remnant is... I think Remnant is important to any build, but... because I always have Remnant. But, hey, that's up to you. You can switch this around to make it work for you. This is just what I came up with. Avatar, so I could double cast if I need to. In the Fist of the Elements tree. So I do have 4 points into Anima. I could probably get more damage if I was going to go straight for the gratifying Moonfire and then put points into Infusion. But I decided to leave it how it is because I got plenty of damage from the Pearl that I need to put the damage in here also. Steady Hands for handling and accuracy. 4 points in Anima just mainly so I could go farther down the tree, honestly, but it gives me status effect damage and duration. Tempest for extra damage, of course, with elements. One of the main reasons I have Wildfire is because I'm not sure if the Pearl works like consecutive hits. Because with consecutive hits, you need some kind of dot or something on the enemy so you can keep that damage up. That's the reason that I actually have Wildfire. Let me know in the comments if I actually need to have Wildfire to keep that dot damage up, or if it'll, as long as I don't miss, it's fine. Because with consecutive hits, Anyways. Dread. Extra gun damage, Deep Well for larger magazine. I'm using Indiscriminate just in case I can get a ricochet. I don't see many ricochets in this build, but when it does, they usually kill everything, so it's nice. Sustainment, this is my main main survivability skill here. The lifesteal from this skill helps me stay alive because I do a lot of elemental damage. Last but not least, I actually put points into Forceful Expression. The bonus elemental damage of 18% really helps actually. Without it, I can still do a lot of damage, but there was no reason not to put it here. More damage is always better, especially if you have enough sustain to live. So I decided to go with it. That is my build, guys. Like always, like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more Borderlands content, and so I can help you make some new builds. Blue Crew, as always, stay medicated, stay elevated. Till the next video, take it easy.